What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals. My name is DJ, and we are the podcast that is your first line of defense against stupid movies. I am joined by my siblings, my sister,
Dinah,
and my brother,
Derek.
Yes. I got there. Anyway, yes, my brother Derek, who is obviously you can't see because he's never here with us. It's okay, but this is our first video. So we finally we tried this a few times.
oh, are we actually posting this video?
Yeah, if I get the cartoon or thing.
Okay. I would have made sure everything looked better than it is. Okay.
Oh, you're okay. You're all right.
Okay.
It's only 720p. Don't worry.
All right.
Or 1080p. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so this is our first video. So if you guys are watching, I hope you guys can enjoy that very much. But this week we're going to be talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths. Not the comic, we talked about that already, but the CW crossover, which just ended the beginning of this week, I think it was. Yeah. Beginning of this week and ended. So you guys, if y'all saw a review for the comic, we did not did not like the comic at all. I actually despise that comic. That was the most boring comic I've ever read.
Yeah, it wasn't good, and I'm not a comic person, but usually when you guys say, "Hey, read this comic," I'm like, "Oh, I enjoy that."
Yeah.
This was hard to get through.
Yeah, there are 3 more Crisis events, I think, or 2 more Crisis events.
There's
2 more
series.
Crisis events.
We're not gonna continue,
but
right?
they are better though.
Maybe.
Yeah, I heard
they're
better.
They're better. They're better. A lot better.
Yeah. So the CW did an adaptation of that comic. So I'm going to make a few comments about it before we get in our feelings about CW's adaptation. Mm-hmm. I think they stuck to the comic as much as they could.
Yes, they did.
I think they really did. They really tried to make this like the comic book, which is not a bad thing from a perspective. You should, when you're adapting something.
I think that's good. I feel like if it was a comic that I liked, I would have liked the fact that they did it. Because usually I get mad when they take too many liberties with a storyline.
Yeah.
So I think that is good. And I want to say that the fans really seem to like this crossover.
A lot of fans, I've seen reviews going both ways with this. A lot of the people that I've watched that do like YouTube reviews and stuff, a lot of them have said that it wasn't their favorite crossover event for like it's mostly not their least favorite, but it's towards the bottom of the list. But a lot of when you read the comics, a lot of the fans really like it. And I think that's because of the Easter eggs and I will give it to CW. They went out on a limb to try and bring as much connectivity to this as possible. Like they referenced almost every DC property they could muster that would have something remotely to do with the heroes that we currently have. So I thought that was pretty good, which I think is probably why people enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let me ask you, am I jumping if I ask you about these Easter eggs?
Sure.
Before you looked it up, did you spot these Easter eggs?
No, I saw some, but a lot of the ones in the beginning, like there's a lot in the beginning of the series I didn't spot at all.
So there's a lot of things I was looking like, that's odd. And then it was, that's because that was like a throwback to Batman 89. And I did not pick up on it.
Yeah. So, I didn't pick up a lot of these. But I did, like most people do, and look out to YouTube to see what they referenced.
Yes.
That will get them an extra point when I rate this.
Okay.
Because I thought they did go out. Plus, you guys know where we're getting at. We didn't like the comic. I didn't like this crossover that much.
I think it does have a lot to do with the fact that I found the comic unlikable.
Yeah.
And considering that it was just like the comic, I did not like this. Because I felt like, to me, the comic was confusing.
Mm-hmm. And the beginning of this was confusing.
I felt a lot of this was confusing to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
which I don't know. Maybe our minds aren't great enough.
I mean, maybe I'm not that smart, and I just can't pick up on it. But that's fine.
Yeah, but it was a very ambitious thing for the CW to do.
Yeah.
The amount that they put into this crossover is crazy. And when we actually get to talking about it, it's going to be spoilers. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you haven't seen this, oh well.
Yeah, and I think just like DC, they use this crossover event to kind of consolidate everything.
So that was one of my questions. Can I ask this question?
Sure.
So is every show on a different Earth? Like is Flash on a different Earth than Arrow?
Flash and Arrow were on the same Earth. Yeah.
Right.
And
yes, you're correct. Go ahead, Darren.
Oh, Flash and Arrow, Constantine, they're all on the same Earth.
Is that a show?
It was.
It was a show. It came on NBC as a...
So, like, that guy showed up, and I was like, who is he?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch Constantine.
Earth as Flash and Arrow as well.
So only Supergirl was on a different Earth.
Supergirl was on a different Earth. Black Lightning is on a different Earth. Okay. The Titan TV series, which is still on a different Earth.
They didn't come. I thought everything got combined at the end.
Not everything. Most of it.
Oh, okay.
Most of the stuff.
All right.
Not everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, something else was on a different Earth.
All right. That was just one of my questions. I was confused.
I don't remember what. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, and okay, so that's the story, guys. It actually follows the comic pretty much to a T.
Really
there are
well.
A bunch of different Earths, and the Anti-Monitor is going through and destroying them. You have Pariah. He's not... I do have to say, at least he wasn't.
He was not as annoying as the guys the comic book.
As we read in the comic book.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, although he did repeat that line a lot, it wasn't as much as in the comic.
Dude, it was so... And I don't know, like, if this happens when you read... When I read things, you know, I hear it in my head, obviously, but I hear it. So him whining so much was so annoying. I know that sounds weird, but like...
Yeah, no, because it was annoying because it was like the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. He shows up with his purple hair and he's like, I've seen thousands of worlds die just for, you know, my internal punishment or whatever.
Yeah, because he released the Anti-Monitor.
Yeah, and I was just like, we get it.
Yeah. So it was the same thing in this series. The person who normally plays some Earth's version of Harrison Wells, this is an ongoing thing with Flash. Mm-hmm. There's a person called Harrison Wells, and every season it's a different version of him on the season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, from a different Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've had a lot of different Harrison Wells, and okay. I actually haven't been caught up on these seasons for this year. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what was going on. It was regarding to like the character information, but I mean you can follow it well enough. Mm-hmm. So that Harrison Wells was Pariah, and I have to say the costumes at least looked similar to the comics.
Overall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Pariah's costume looked the same. Even Harbinger, who she said, "Oh, that was annoying." Okay, so Lila from Arrow is Harbinger, and she said, "I'm Harbinger now," like 50 times.
She did, so you couldn't forget.
It's like, can you not? Can you not?
She did.
So yeah, overall thoughts of this. The first 3 episodes were just absolute trash. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, do we want to talk about what happens in these episodes?
It just shows on how bad Supergirl is too. Well, like the show.
Supergirl's a bad show.
I was going to comment on the writing. You can tell the difference in writing because the Supergirl episode, which is started with Supergirl, bad. And you know what? When the last crossover, and I actually really liked the last crossover.
Which one is that one?
Crisis on Earth X, I believe was the last one.
Okay.
And then Elseworlds. They did an Elseworlds one. Mm-hmm. The episode that was on Supergirl, trash. The writers on Supergirl, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not a writer. You're probably a better writer than I am. However, I do not enjoy your writing. I don't. I watched the first 2 seasons of Supergirl, and that was it. Like, the show's just...
I couldn't even get that far, but I have questions. Since we're talking about Supergirl, can we talk about Supergirl and Superman and all of that?
Okay.
So, you answered my one question about her being on a different Earth. That was one of my questions. So, this Superman that was on Argo, was that the real Superman? Like, Superman?
Yeah, that is Supergirl's cousin, Superman.
And
Superman.
he really is on some place called Argo?
That's a real thing from the comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So here's my thing. So, am I jumping if I talk about what happens in this episode? Okay.
That was the first episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay, so...
Yeah, Supergirl is the first episode.
Him and Lois are on a place called Argo, and they're with their kid, Jonathan. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, the World Eater is coming in, getting ready to eat up their world or whatever. So they stick the baby in a ship. One, why is there always a one-person ship? Who builds one-person ships?
That is, that's true.
Who gets to say, yo, my kid gets this ship and your kid gets to die?
No one else is...
Yeah. Because it was their ship.
Why are you building... I'm sorry, there's 3 people in this family. I'm going to build a ship.
Yeah, why not build a 3-person ship?
You know the world is being destroyed.
Right.
And there's no returning from this. Why are we...
But my thing is like, okay, at this point, you didn't know the world was getting destroyed, right? So you said, I'm going to build a spaceship. And you built it for one small child.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
It didn't make any sense.
Okay, but that wasn't my question.
Yeah.
That was just one of those things that made me go,
Well, I'm going to comment about that. They went on that, okay, so they sent their child off, but then they got carted off by Harbinger.
Right.
Right? Because in the comics, Harbinger brought all the heroes to stop it. Mm-hmm. And then it caused like this whole little side mission to go find their child.
So that's what I was getting on. And the child meant nothing.
Yeah, it was pointless. I thought it was going to be like an arc that was going over.
Well,
it just wasted time in the episode.
I thought, like, in the comic, was it Lex Jr. who was growing really fast?
Yeah.
And he meant something. I didn't read that far, so I'm not sure what he meant. But I thought that's what that baby was going to be.
Oh.
And, like, the baby, they spent all this time looking for him, and then he kind of just disappeared for the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, well, they found him.
You know, they found him. But then it's like, where did y'all put him? Did it, like, lock him in a cupboard or something while they go traveling through time?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess he got, spoiler, I guess he got destroyed because eventually all the Earths got destroyed.
So it made no sense to me. I mean, they spent all this time looking for this baby. They got him back, and then he meant absolutely nothing.
Literally, it was time waster in the episode. It was just time waster.
It was such...
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed to fill that time slot. Yeah. So you needed a side story.
Well, then I think it kind of ends with, to me, what was another giant time waster.
What?
Was Oliver dying.
Yeah,
I say that because the next 3 episodes was about them trying to bring him back.
Yeah, why would they? Sarah, for everybody, why would you try to bring him back? Okay, before I get to that, fun fact, Jonathan Kent, the child, is Superboy in the comics.
Yes, that'll be teaming up with Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. They should have had Damian in this.
I do. You know what? Yeah, put Damian in this. Look, bring me back to the Arrow days when we had Red Arrow.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why did he leave the show? Even when his sister was Red Arrow or Speedy, it was better.
Speedy.
Oh, that leads to my other question. Where did Oliver's daughter come from?
I didn't watch Arrow, so I don't know.
I haven't.
But
I thought he only had a son. He has a daughter.
Yeah, I was like, I knew he had a son, but he has a daughter.
Yeah, he has a daughter. I don't know. Since I didn't watch Arrow, I don't know that part. Which I didn't find that too important.
No, I didn't think it was important. I was like, who is this person? And then that's another person that disappeared.
Yeah, she did just disappear. What happened to his daughter?
I was like, she's an error, right? Like, the first episode, she's fighting alongside with them, right?
Yeah.
And then by episode 3, she was gone.
Why didn't they bring her?
I just feel like we need all the heroes we can get, right?
Why wouldn't you bring all the heroes?
Exactly. Like, Elongated Man, why was he not in the final fight?
Yeah, none of the Flash people were in this.
Like,
not even his wife. She was only in... Iris was only in the Flash episode.
Does she have powers?
No, I'm just saying, like, none of the characters were. Was Vibe in this?
Who?
Vibe. Cisco Ramon.
Yes.
Cisco.
He was in it.
Oh, yeah. He had to use his powers once. That's another thing. They made a big old deal about returning his powers to him, and it's like you have to use your powers now, and it's going to be so important. He used it once and then disappeared.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. I thought it was weird.
I think Cisco is one of those cases where he's really powered, but he's depowered for the show.
I don't know.
Vibe is overpowered. He can do a lot.
I have no idea.
Flash is the only show that I watch, but I usually watch it after season, so that's.
So I thought it was weird that his daughter was there, and especially when she's a hero, I felt like they could have kept her throughout the rest of the episodes.
Yeah,
and they didn't.
Well, I know she's there because Arrow's ending, and they're going to have a spin-off, Green Arrow and the Canaries.
I'm fine with that. She seems like a character that seems like someone I want to follow.
You know, I'm good with it as long as they bring it back to the root of Arrow, and you don't. What happened with Arrow? One, they made the Felicity drama where she just got mad at everything for no reason, which was like, oh, okay.
You gotta have drama.
It was like season 1. I liked her character. And then, like, after that, I didn't. I
think season 3 she fell off.
I think she fell off, and she became more just whiny.
Yeah.
And just every decision he made, why would you do that if you really love me?
And then they got another computer person, so you didn't even need her.
These shows, that's another thing.
True.
It's just, how come every show has like a giant computerized room with 3 people combining scientific words together and says, we need to build a parallel universe thingamajig, and then they do it in 2 seconds.
And so, here's my thing about the CW shows.
Is how is everything funded? No one works.
Y'all don't have jobs.
Yeah, you know what? Oliver lost his money.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Season 2.
I thought he got that back.
2. He hasn't had the building is not even theirs anymore.
Oh, he didn't get his money back?
I don't know. I think Felicity owned the company for a while, so it might just come from her. I don't know.
Oh.
But it's like that with how does the Avengers get their money? I know Tony Stark's super rich, but
he's
it's
dumb
like
rich.
But it's the same thing. Justice League, Batman. Okay, he's super
dumb
rich. Okay.
Okay, but think about it. Justice League had Batman and Oliver Queen. 2 people are dumb rich.
Okay, that's true.
Although, I mean, Batman got to be dumb rich, though. I mean, he built a fortress in space.
Even our poorest superheroes got to be dumb rich. In order to make Spider-Man realistic, they had to start putting him in a hoodie because remember Look, I love the Sam Raimi Spider-Man cartoons, but how did he make that raised webbing spider suit? How? That was.
Look, he went to Joanne Fabric and was like, yo.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, the whole team of people, I think it works on The Flash.
Right.
It works for that show, but I think after The Flash came and they had the team, and I think everybody liked The Flash, they started putting the full team on Arrow. And it's okay when you have Arrow and Diggle and whoever, I think he's not Guardian. I forget what he became. Titan? Something like that.
I think he's...
Because Guardian was on Supergirl.
2 Guardians.
Jimmy Olsen was Guardian.
Yeah, but I think Diggle go by Guardian too. Or is it Titan?
Yeah, I don't know. Diggle.
I don't know.
It's okay when you have Arrow and Diggle and Red Arrow. And then you can have like a cameo of another hero in sometimes. But he's got...
like with the Canary.
Yeah, Canary, fine. But actually, I think you should have introduced Canary and then made a spinoff if you wanted to keep her. Because she is an interesting enough character to do a show about.
Yeah, she could carry her own show.
Yeah.
Like, she couldn't be the only character on the show, though. Like, she definitely would have to.
Well, she'll have a sidekick and somebody to work with her, too.
And then she's going to get a super team, and they're going to be in the basement of some building. And they're all going to sit around with their computers yelling at each other. That is what I've learned what every show in the CW is.
So, yeah. So I think it would have been better with that. But now it's always like this team of like 5 people. And speaking of the crossover, the action, I think none of the action I didn't like any of the action.
No, it felt too fake.
Yeah.
Just like back to like Power Rangers when they get hit and flip through the air.
Yo!
That's what it felt like to me. Like, that's what it felt like to me. And another thing, we was talking about characters. So I don't watch these shows. So it took me all the way into episode 5 to realize that black guy named John was Martian the Manhunter.
Oh, you didn't realize that?
I did not know that.
Okay, that is because you didn't watch the show. That's...
No, but here's my point. Martian the Manhunter is one of the strongest superheroes, right? Why was he sitting in the room talking when he could have been on the street fighting?
Because Supergirl writers.
Yeah.
I mean, like, real talk. I was like, wait a minute. This guy is Martian the Manhunter? Mm-hmm. Oh, he busy talking around, looking up stuff in the computer. I'm like, dude, get out there.
He barely fights in Supergirl.
You have Martian the Manhunter.
Speaking about bad Supergirl writing, this is when I left Supergirl, when they introduced Cyborg Superman, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So,
the dudes.
So it was the actual character from the comics, and Supergirl finds out he's still alive, and they're fighting, and then it turns out that he's got cyborg parts, and his line is literally this: "I'm Cyborg Superman now." And I was like, who wrote this? First of all, in the comics it made sense. Here you had nothing to do with Superman. Why? Why was it I'm Cyborg Superman now? And then who just randomly says that? Dumb.
Right.
So that's why I gave him a Supergirl. But yeah, he doesn't do. I don't know why
he
they don't
did
use
nothing.
him.
I didn't understand, and I was like, oh wait, this guy isn't. Because I'm like, who is this?
Oh, I know why they don't use him.
Because he's strong.
CGI.
Oh, to make him green?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta make him green.
Because they don't have the budget, so putting him in prosthetics and stuff is not going to look good.
I'm saying he can just be out there with the little red X and a cape.
He turns into the Martian Manhunter sometimes.
I'm saying I'll be fine if he didn't turn at all.
Yeah, but Derek, sometimes, but it's sometimes because of the budget.
Oh, I don't know.
Especially because if you've seen some of the CGI displayed on Supergirl, it's very bad. And I don't mean like, oh, this is TV, so it's bad,
It's just bad.
With Flash, I get like, okay, it's TV. It's fine. On Supergirl, it's bad. It was actually featured on, I don't know if anyone watches Corridor Crew on YouTube, but they review like CGI and stuff, and they showed some of the extremely bad CGI on that show.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right.
The crossover event.
Yeah, so that was just some things I've noticed.
Okay. Yeah, they could have used
the fighting was pretty bad too.
Yeah. I think part of it. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, out of all the crossovers, I believe the 6th one, this had to have been the worst one.
Yeah,
and I think I would say majority of the reason is just the story arc is just dumb.
There was a musical with the Flash and Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
One episode.
Yeah.
Musical. Shows have a musical episode.
I don't watch those episodes.
Yeah, so Flash and Supergirl crossover.
What?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Why are you telling me this?
Because Derek said it was the worst. And I was like, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You're right about that one there. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so part of the action, why I think it wasn't as good as some of the older ones, I think it was a bit too ambitious. Like, in general, in some of the other episodes, when they all team up and they're all fighting people, they're like in some kind of warehouse and whatever. It's close quarters, right? Mm-hmm. Which generally, like if they did that in a movie, you'd be like, what the heck? But your TV, your CW for one, so you don't have that big of a budget. Putting it in close corridors gives you the ability to have explosions and reasons to do all this that looks decent while they're fighting. But they did this in a big open field, most of their fights. And the choreography,
I was like, I don't even know if it was just open space. I just feel like some of these people look like they've never been in a fight in their life.
Yeah. But I'm going to go with the choreography on that.
Okay.
I mean, the actors should be able to do it.
It is the CW, though. I mean...
Also, I have a question. So, I mean, like, we're not going beat for beat what happened in this, but another problem I have with this crossover is one of the Paragons. They got Paragons to save the universe or whatever, and he's a regular human, which I'm like, okay, fine.
But according to your Easter egg, I think he is somebody.
Yeah, he is somebody. I don't know what his name is.
Ray? Chan?
No.
That is his name, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought like he had a alias, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, in this, he's a human.
Yes, but he's important.
So,
apparently,
like the Anti-Monitor, just like in a comic, has like these shadow things that they have to fight, right? Why is are they really that big of a threat?
But
that
not,
I needed
because anybody can you punch them once and they out the game.
Yeah, this human was out there punching them with his fists, not getting harmed.
Which makes me wonder, how does Oliver die?
Yeah, how did Oliver die?
Because that reminds me of another how did this character die when we get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're right, one hit knocks them out, right?
Yeah. Apparently, if I can punch him, because he wasn't like a physically fit person, like he's not out of shape, but he's not a physically fit person. Regular guy. So I can go out there and punch these shadow things. So why don't we just get a bunch of humans? Why do we need the Flash? Actually, the Flash should be able to take them all out if a human can punch it.
Himself.
Exactly. So like it made no sense. And they's like, Oliver saved 1 billion more people. Well, 4 billion people still died.
Yeah.
You did.
They just needed him to be Spectre.
Which I did not understand that at all.
Spectre was in the comics.
I didn't get that far.
Oh, okay, word.
What?
The
comic was not good. I couldn't do it.
You didn't read the whole thing.
I didn't read the whole thing.
Good job.
Look, I was just
whatever. Like, well, Spectre, he helped out in the comics.
Yeah, see, that's my question mark for episode number 4. What is a Spectre?
It's you never heard of Spectre?
No, I wrote it down. I don't know what it is.
I'm pretty sure he was in the Marvel vs. DC crossover too.
I didn't read the Marvel vs. DC crossover. Okay, look.
You didn't read Marvel vs. DC?
I don't read comic books.
Yeah, but Marvel vs. DC.
Oh my goodness.
Unless
that is like
you make me read it, I am not reading a comic book.
Classic of all classic comic books.
How is no?
In the 90s.
No.
Like people were voting on the battle.
Yeah.
Did you vote?
No.
I'm
pretty sure this was before I could even attempt to vote. But
I'm sorry, I didn't know what that was or why we cared about it.
Because it's Marvel versus DC. Why would we not care? Oh, you talking about Spectre?
Yes. Also, don't care about Marvel versus DC.
Yeah, Spectre is a definite main character in DC Comics. Like he shows up all the time.
All right.
Yeah. And different people can become Spectre.
Okay, so he need to become Spectre so he can beat the Anti-Monitor.
Yeah, basically.
For some reason.
There was a reason for that. Interesting fact. So I'm going to start getting into some of the Easter eggs.
Okay.
You guys got the gist out of all of that. We didn't like the comic. We didn't like the crossover.
Basically.
The first 3 episodes, as a recap, the first 3 episodes, in my opinion, were bad. The second 2 brought it back. But, of course, those were the Arrow writers, which are the best writers out of the whole CW crew, so whatever. Although it still lacked, like, that final battle.
I thought
was very lackluster, especially like Oliver's death. His second death didn't feel like anything.
Here's my question. I have 2 things. Okay, so in the end of the 4th episode, they won.
Yeah. And
all the worlds get combined, and they're confused, and they realize it's all combined. Then I felt like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they were fighting again.
Yeah, Anti-Monitor didn't get destroyed. Now, that was something in the comics, too. Anti-Monitor kept coming back.
I just thought, it just seemed really weird to me. That it was like, oh, we're doing this again.
Yeah. In that final fight, that was just dumb. Now, when y'all say Power Rangers, really, he made himself grow and everything. He was big. And it's...
I didn't understand something else. And maybe I just missed it because I was working while I was watching this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they say, like, all right, so it was the first time, like, all 5 of the things, honor, destiny, blah, 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 were all together. Mm-hmm. Did they do anything to beat the Anti-Monitor?
They... Again, because of the TV show, I give it a pass on this. But just like normal, they came up with some scientific way to beat him, and they were able to create it in a lab within a few hours because everybody is ultra geniuses.
Okay,
apparently.
but did they need all 5 of them to do that?
No, but they needed to fight him so he didn't start destroying planets again, I guess.
Okay, but I felt like when they had thought they had all lost, and it's like, oh, the 5 of us, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like him and Arrow on the mountain blowing each other up.
Oh. Yeah, no, that didn't make sense. You talking about before Oliver died.
Yeah, they had this conversation, and then I'm like, and then what did y'all do? And they did nothing.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. Well, we were talking about that. I don't understand why it had to be the Paragon, since a human could just beat up it. I don't understand what they were doing.
Right, so I was like, all right, so we have the 5 Paragons, but I don't understand what they all did to stop this thing.
They just said it was important. Basically, it was just dialogue that said it was important.
But why was it important?
Because apparently the only person you needed was Oliver.
Exactly, and I thought I missed it because I was doing other stuff, but I guess I didn't miss it.
No, they just said it.
Okay.
And you're right. The only person they actually needed was Oliver because he's the one that reset the universe.
Right, and so then that leads into episode 5 when blah, blah, blah. So how does Oliver come back?
No, Oliver's dead.
Arrow's not over yet.
I don't know. He's going to be dead in Arrow, I guess.
Well, then how does he come back?
Right, because this is the last season of Arrow.
Yes, which just started.
Oh, yeah, this is the first few episodes of it, right?
Yes. Okay.
Right.
He's dead.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Flashbacks.
Okay, maybe they can
My
explain
guess
his
is they're
daughter.
probably going to follow his daughter, and then they have
Who
that to spin on
disappeared.
it. Yeah. And I'm guessing characters like Diggle and all that's going to be gone, and it's just going to be her and two
I feel like I
versions of
like her,
Canary.
though. So that's fine.
Yeah. So we see. Maybe I gotta catch up. I gotta watch.
I mean, they've been doing this show for a long.
It's been 7 years.
Yeah, the last season of Arrow I watched, I didn't finish, was the one with Ragman in it, and that actually wasn't that bad. Besides the team, I wish the team wasn't there, but the story was pretty good. We had who?
Wild Dog and Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, I don't like those characters.
Yeah,
They sound
I don't
awful.
either.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
They're real DC characters, though.
All right. Oh, we were talking about the Easter eggs.
yeah, so we'll get into the Easter. Oh, well, first, all the Earths combined, which is pretty great. I think that's good because they always had to come up with some convoluted way to get Supergirl into the crossover.
Right.
And to be honest, I like her in the crossover, just not when she's written by her showrunners.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Typically, Melissa Benoist.
Dang.
I think it's
you
her
gonna
name.
call her out like that?
No, she's a pretty good actress. She's fine.
Okay.
I do like her
Yeah.
on this.
I'm indifferent. I have not seen this show.
The show is just.
This show's stupid.
All right.
So now everybody's together. It makes sense, and it'll be easier to do crossovers because they do mini crossovers throughout the seasons too.
And I guess the most important part, the Justice League.
Yes, at the end of
Sort
it, Justice League
Which, the table looked nice.
table did look nice.
Those chairs look really comfy.
You know what just makes me so mad about, and I know, Dinah, you're going to agree. It's not the same without Batman.
Man, look, I want to go on a Batman tirade, but we haven't got to that Easter egg yet.
I was about to say they don't have Superman, but they do because Superman's getting a spin-off show.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay, can I go on a
Yes, he
Superman
is.
tirade too when we get to that?
Well, I like this Superman. What's wrong with this Superman?
When
No,
they
I
showed
don't
him
like
against the other Superman, he was not quite Superman.
That's really true. Actually, I think Brandon Routh is a better Superman.
It was just
He
like
is.
he was
Tom
fine
Welling
until
is
I saw
huge.
him next to the other guys, and I was
Tom
like,
Welling. Oh yeah, he's
I was
huge.
like, Tom
Yeah.
Welling is huge.
Like, Tom Welling looked like he was hitting the gym.
Like,
And
Well,
I'm
he
like, why
did in
was he so-
Smallville. That's why it didn't make sense. He was a freshman in high school.
because he was a grown man.
And I'm like, you are 13 as a freshman in high school. You talking about this?
I was telling Dinah, I'm like, him to be so buff and to be a buff Superman, to never have the Superman.
Right, though? But it makes sense. But the thing is because all the characters around him, you didn't realize how big he was until he was standing next to mini Superman.
Yeah,
And I was like, whoa.
yeah. But as a character, I do like him.
Fine, but
yeah. He's a little short.
It's like what I forgot. Brandon Routh was Superman until they put him in the Superman. I was like, oh yeah, Superman returns.
Yeah,
and I was like, dang, dude.
When the Superman where the bullet bounced off his eyeball.
Yeah.
Which actually he looks good as Superman.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
It's just
all right, but yeah, there's going to be another Lois and Clark.
I'm not watching that.
No, they have 2 kids now.
Yeah, that other mystery kid came out of nowhere.
I might check it out as long as we don't get Supergirl writers. I'm good.
Dude, give me a Jonathan and Damian.
It's a spin off from Supergirl though.
Right,
what?
So,
yeah. Okay.
So it might be similar writers.
You already know.
Yeah. So, you know what? A Jonathan and Damian show would be good, but how are they going to get to that?
I don't know. I'm so mad we can't get a real.
You
Batman.
can introduce Damian in Batwoman.
How old is Batman and Batwoman?
I don't know. I haven't watched the show. Is he dead?
Who knows?
Or he's just missing?
I don't know.
I don't understand. Okay, maybe I'll check out a few episodes.
Okay. We have yet to talk about these Easter eggs.
Yeah. All right, Easter eggs. So in the beginning of the first episode, we saw a bunch of Earths get destroyed. They were all Easter eggs. So you had the Tim Burton Batman series. You saw the reporter from those series in that, which was pretty good. The Titans universe, so Robin and I forget the other guy's name, was there. So that's from the DC streaming service. The Adam West Batman.
Oh yeah, they had Robin in there.
Yep, the actor that played Robin was walking a dog, and he said his holy whatever Batman. Well, he didn't say Batman, but
right. He should have said Batman, because then I would have known what he was. Because I was like, that's odd.
Yeah, a little weird. I thought that was weird too, but then I was like, it was meant to be quirky. But then I was able to connect the dots.
But no, I was like, oh, just like with the guy from '89. I was like, oh, that was the reporter.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up originally.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you've got. There is some meaning between Oliver saving Flash and Supergirl, not only because his series is over and Stephen Amell is going on to do probably something better. He would make it a bit. He doesn't have a Superman face, but at least he's got the physique. I don't know.
He's old now.
Yeah. They should look into using him they should have used him for some DC movies, I think.
Put him in the MCU. I'll think of a mutant for him to be.
Oh, yeah. A mutant. Gambit.
He's too big.
He's too big for Gambit?
You already got Shannon Tatum for Gambit.
No. That's not a thing anymore.
But the reason that Arrow saved Flash and Supergirl, besides the fact that his show was ending, and they're still around, but it was a nice little parallel to the comics where the Flash and Supergirl are actually the 2 that died during Crisis on Infinite Earth. So that's interesting. And I remember mentioning this in our comic review, but Supergirl went out like a beast in that comic. So that was pretty good. I thought that was interesting. So the Monitor kept saying that, both of them were going to die. So like it was going to happen in a similar way to the comic, but Arrow made a deal with him in order to save them. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Stephen Amell.
Oh, yeah. We went in the MCU.
Yeah, we could put Stephen Amell in the MCU if you're not doing anything, jump up in the MCU. I say he could be, you said a mutant, and if we do that, I say he could be Gambit.
I don't think so, to me.
No.
To me, Gambit is more of a thinner person. Yeah, I find Gambit to me to be maybe like a tall, kind of slim, athletic build.
Okay.
Right? Y'all don't think?
Yeah, a slim, athletic build, I guess, makes sense. So you think he's just too?
Yeah. I think he's too big
compared to the people in the MCU.
Well, I mean, he's no.
Because I'm like, they're all huge.
I mean, he's no Chris Hemsworth. No.
All right. We were talking about that the other week about how the size between Mjolnir and the Axe Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
And then we realized how big Chris Hemsworth has to be, because in Endgame, when Chris Evans, who's also huge, had it looked gigantic with him.
Maybe it was just a prop. Maybe. I'm serious. It's like because Thor's supposed to be huge. Maybe they gave him like a small one, and then when they gave it to,
okay, sure,
it could be. You don't know.
I guess so. But yeah, Stephen Amell, if we can find somebody for him.
I'm going to think of something. I'll have it for you guys.
Oh, man. Yeah, think of somebody. I'm trying to go through some MCU characters that I think would be good.
Yeah.
Not some Mariner.
No, we already wanted The Rock for that.
Yeah, but you don't think The Rock is too big for some Mariner? I mean, like, I think he has the look.
Right. Man, The Rock would be huge as
he's huge
Mariner.
as Mariner.
Yeah, he is huge. That's true.
So, we'll find somebody. Stephen Amell, join the MCU. Johnny Storm?
He's too old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's too old.
Maybe when the first season of Arrow was out.
All right, fine. All right, Lex Luthor. Interesting fact, that Lex Luthor actually was in the original Superman
had
movies.
No idea until they showed that picture, and I was like, "Oh, that is him."
Yeah, I'm like, "Whoa, that's crazy." So yeah, the person that plays Lex Luthor on Supergirl was actually in the original Superman movies as like a lackey to
he was
Lex
a
Luthor.
henchman.
Yeah, so it just comes full circle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
no idea. He is
like,
best known for his role on 2.5 Men.
Right. Yeah, that's him.
Yes, that's the guy from 2.5 Men.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that is.
When you said it, it just clicked in my head. Like, oh yeah. Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not the worst Lex Luthor.
No, I need him to be meaner though. I don't find him to be like mean.
Yeah, I mean, he did go around killing all the Supermen.
It's still, I didn't feel it though. It didn't seem like a threat.
Better than the guy from.
Everything's better than that. Come on now.
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, everything's better than that.
Oh yeah, no. God, like we've said this plenty of times, but the guy who played Lex on Smallville.
See, now that's a guy. I feel like you don't think he brings that intensity though.
Yes, he does.
Like John Cryer is cool.
He does. But he said he's done. That's why he wasn't on CW.
What else is he doing?
Is he still voice acting?
Oh, he'd be doing voice acting?
Yeah, he's the voice of the Flash.
And what?
Yeah, he does voice
Justice
acting.
League.
Yeah, but
the Justice League cartoons
he's done playing the Lex
Justice League
Luthor
cartoon
character.
ended like 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, he's probably still doing voice acting.
Okay.
Yeah. Side note, I forgot to talk about the cameos.
Isn't that in part of your Easter eggs?
Sort of, kind of, whatever. The part of the reason why I disliked this, cameos were pointless. A lot of them were pointless.
Yeah.
Smallville cameo.
You thought that was pointless?
I think they just got people with excited.
With Tom Welling?
Paid.
Yeah, just like Derek said, they were getting everybody excited. Oh, we've got Tom Welling and
it would have
Erica
been better
Durant's back.
If he suited up.
And like it's this small scene where he's on the farm. Oh, I gave up my powers.
It was. I agree.
Which he always did on Small.
I agree. I thought it would have been nice if he'd have suited up, but then he would have overshadowed the other Superman.
He would have.
Yeah.
But we all know Tom Welling said he was never putting on a suit, so just give him that little red shirt and
and the blue jacket.
I didn't mind
the streak.
it. Was it pointless? Yes, but I didn't mind it.
The blur.
Okay. And then I didn't like Kevin Conroy's.
Oh my gosh! Can I go on my Batman tirade now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I was so first when they were like Kevin Conroy, I'm like, yay, Batman! But then he was such a bitter. Oh, okay, wait. Let's back up. So that guy Luke is Lucius Fox's son.
Apparently, I didn't know that.
Why was he just walking around with no clothes on? Like, why is your shirt open right now? Like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Like, why are you just... It's like 2 grown men walking around this house and you ain't got no clothes on. Like, what are you doing? And then I'm like, all right, these chicks walk in the house and you still like no shirt. It made no sense.
I don't know.
Maybe
so
it was hot.
It was inspiring Batwoman to not end up like that. But her Batman's not like that.
But, okay, but here's the part that made me mad about this. One, you wasted a good Kevin Conroy. Seriously.
Yeah.
Two, Batman became this bitter old man who kills Superman. And then he like, I'm going to kill Supergirl too. And then he just punches her, which is, I didn't have no problem with that. But my problem was
He
is that
punched her with kryptonite.
he beats up Supergirl and then he gets his butt handed to him by Batwoman. And she just kills him after
Wait, doesn't that make sense though? Doesn't that make sense though?
What is this?
Yeah. It does, right?
I mean, it made no sense.
If Batman can beat Superman, then it makes sense that a Bat character can beat the Batman that beat Superman.
No. I mean, think about it. Like, even when she was fighting him, I'm like, he about to put some moves on her. He was, like, moving all slow.
Well, he didn't have any moves. Technically, I mean, he only beat Supergirl because he had kryptonite.
Still. Batman don't never lose touch. And he had an exoskeleton suit.
Which is from Kingdom Come, I think.
Yeah, something. Okay. I don't know what that is, but that's where it's from. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, she like 3-piece this dude, and he gets electrocuted, and I was like, that's the end of that fight? Yeah. Like, what was that?
They only had so much time. That's why I was saying some of the cameos, which is a cameo, I guess, technically, but some of it seemed kind of pointless.
Anyways, I did not like that cameo, and I mean, I'm sorry. You guys are wasting Batman. Everything needs Batman in it.
Yeah, I thought we would get like at least a bat suit or something. Like I didn't expect him to suit up as Batman.
No, I didn't expect him to suit up, but I thought he was gonna have some words of wisdom. I was thinking he was about to be Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond to them.
Yeah, and start talking to him from the cave or whatever.
Something, or like give him drop some knowledge or help him do some sciencey stuff in 2 seconds that they've been doing all all show. And it was just he was bitter and old, and I'm not gonna be him, even though she stole the kryptonite and then said I'm not gonna use it. And then she's like, I trust you not to use it. What is this trash? Like let's know.
First of all, Batwoman would just keep it because she's cautious.
I was just like, yo, and can we talk about how bad her wig is?
It's a wig inside of the suit.
Look, that wig is still bad. I mean, like, we gotta talk about this hair, like
because she has short hair outside.
She does, which I like. Her short hair is cut.
Yeah, it actually looks decent.
But that wig.
Okay.
I know a girl. Hook you up.
Okay.
Because that wig was not the business.
Wig hookup. All right. Some more Easter eggs. They did a little homage to Death Superman when Lex was killing the Superman.
Right.
And they had his his cape all on the flag. If you've ever seen that comic book panel with Lois over the dead Superman and his cape was flapping.
It was directly from that.
Yep, directly from that. Interesting. And the cape looked exactly like the cape from the old Superman movies. So maybe that was that universe. I don't know. Whatever. So you had that. I had written down my Smallville crossover useless. So yeah, it was useless. Okay. What's the name? Brandon Routh suiting up as Superman. His suit was the Kingdom Come Superman suit, so we're guessing that was from there.
What is this Kingdom Come thing?
We'll have to read it and review it on the podcast.
Okay, all right.
And we'll figure it out.
Okay,
it's a thing. It's a thing we probably should know about.
No, don't know nothing.
I've heard about it for a long time. I've never read it. So
okay.
But yeah,
it is a big series for DC.
Yeah. So he was that Superman, it seems, or an amalgamation of that and some other Superman. Mm-hmm. Like we said before, I thought it looked pretty decent. He looked good suiting up as Superman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know. Mm-hmm. Cool. Then you had, oh my gosh, the Birds of Prey TV show.
Which I did not recognize.
You didn't recognize that?
Because I know she was talking about like, Oracle, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't realize it was the same people though.
Yeah, it was actually the same. Yeah. She was Huntress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, didn't know that.
That show was horrible.
Liked it.
You liked it? No.
I don't know if I actually liked it or not. I know I watched it.
The season finale was when Batgirl finally stood up to fight Joker, I believe.
What? You actually remember what happened in the show?
I don't even remember.
I know I watched it. I don't
even remember that the main character had cat powers because she was Bruce Wayne and Catwoman's
Catwoman, right.
But Catwoman don't have powers.
And
she had cat powers.
I do remember she was Bruce Wayne. Yo, can we stop talking about Bruce Wayne and just give us a Bruce Wayne?
Nope. It was so funny because they mentioned Bruce Wayne on Arrow.
Right. They'd be like, oh, yeah, that guy in Gotham who's richer than
And then when they met Batwoman, Flash, and it was funny. See, this was in the last crossover, which was actually really good. Flash and Arrow like found out that Batman was real. Because, you know, it's all like, oh, he's just a myth type of thing.
Right.
And they're like, oh, he's real? So, like, that was pretty cool. It reminded me of the New 52 Justice League comic.
Right.
I
watched that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And you had, like, Green Lantern, like...
Right, talking about, like, I heard he has fangs and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, they keep mentioning Bruce Wayne and Batman, but not
giving us one.
That's never going to happen. Seriously. You know why? Movies. Look, which is interesting because you decided to bring Superman, so...
Exactly. So why can you do Superman, but you can't do Batman?
They're never going to do a Batman TV show.
It must be... DC must got that locked up.
It's got to be some kind of license.
That's what I'm saying. They got to.
How's it licensed? They own...
Warner
Brothers owns CW. It's all the same company.
They probably said it like, yo, we are never doing this.
Yeah, well, before they didn't let the show share. Like, if a character was on the movies, then they couldn't be in the TV shows. And they got a little bit more lax on that. Because they had Suicide Squad, which was actually pretty decent. And they killed them all because the movie was coming out. And the movie was trash. So they might as well just left them on the TV shows. So... Because Deadshot was in it.
Okay.
He was white in the TV show. I think he's white in the comics. So
I think he is. Yes.
Yeah. So with Birds of Prey. Yeah, that was. I did enjoy that they had that in there, even though it was a horrible TV show. The original Flash. He's been on Flash before, but that is. I think he is representing the original Flash TV show. Like, it's not only...
From the 90s?
That show was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not only the actor... Because that actor has been a part of the Flash series since the beginning. He played Barry's father. But I believe this version of the Flash is actually that Flash. That actual Flash from the 90s TV show.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. So he was in here, and he's the Flash that died. Like the Flash died in the comics. So, okay. Pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed this. Didn't expect them ever to do this. We were just talking about Warner Brothers in this. Ezra Miller had a cameo on here as the Flash, and the two Flashes met each other. Look, it's interesting. Like, we know the DC movie universe isn't the greatest at the moment, but...
I think it's also cool. Because he's the one that's not famous. Also.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Ben Affleck, but not about to make a
comment. Right, I was about to say, like, Ben Affleck.
Right?
True. True. So, I mean, but yeah, I guess so. But I thought it was still pretty cool. But the fact that they allowed that Flash to show up on the TV shows, which means... I mean, just like we guess with Marvel, like, oh, you know, the different universes, literally means that the movie universe of DC is a different Earth.
But we knew that, though.
Yeah, but it just makes it solid, I guess.
But we knew that, though.
Fine, whatever. I thought it was a good cameo.
I mean, I don't have a problem with a cameo, but I don't think it means anything.
Yeah. Okay. Although I still think Ezra Miller's Flash is weird. Like,
yes, it is.
It's a weird depiction.
I don't think he's a good choice. Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it's a good choice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I feel like only 2 of the 5 people they got right.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to have a Henry Cavill Superman, it was a good choice.
It was, but they ruined it.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Technically, even Batfleck was pretty decent.
It was better than what I thought.
Yeah.
He was decent.
The movies were so horrible.
If you gave him something more to work with.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, Earth Prime now is our joint CW universe.
Yay.
Yeah. So all the CW shows are going to take place on Earth Prime, making sense. So now we can have people pop in and out of other people's TV shows, which would be fun. Sense. Yeah. So cool. Which is going to raise the question, when stuff is happening, like the Flash is fighting somebody, why doesn't Supergirl show up?
Because they all live in different cities.
Okay, but see, that makes sense for Arrow.
Right.
But Supergirl...
But Supergirl don't have time to be fighting petty fights. Right? If he fighting Blizzard Man or whatever that guy's name is.
So like when everything...
Captain Code.
The hand. On
his name?
The Netflix shows of Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. It was just like, we don't need the Avengers to
No, they
jump
needed
in.
the Avengers, but...
They did.
They did.
For the hand. That was an Avengers level threat. You were going to bury New York.
It was.
Yeah.
That was.
You might need the Avengers for that. Or even with those shows, Jessica Jones and Daredevil are both in Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
although in a comic, though, they all kind of work together a lot, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So it's just a TV show.
Yeah, they
thing.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like, because in those shows, every time someone needed a lawyer, I was like, oh, it's going to be Matt, right? No.
Right.
I kept waiting for Matt to show up. Like, I know you're about to call this dude, right?
Why wouldn't you use him? Okay.
Right, I don't know.
All right. So, but now Earth Prime, which this is great. I can't believe they haven't done. It's been like 6 years since they've come out with The Flash, right? Which was the second TV show. Now we finally have a Justice League. I'm going to put that in quotations because it's not going to be called Justice League because Warner Brothers is not going to let these TV shows have Justice League.
So what are they going to be? The Justice... What was the first one? The Justice Society of America?
Society, yeah. They've done that on
But
these
there
TV
is a
shows.
Justice Society of America.
On what?
On Legends.
Oh, is that what they call themselves?
No, not the Legends, but they've met the Justice Society.
No. But the actual literal Justice
Okay, the Justice League had another name too, didn't they?
Yeah, there was another one. No, that's Avengers. I don't know. There's more than one Justice League. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to do it. Probably be Super Friends.
That's what I was thinking of. Isn't that the name of the cartoon?
Yes.
Super Friends?
Super Friends. Oh, you know, it is definitely going to be Super Friends because they have Gleek at the end.
I saw that, which I was like, wait, what?
Which I had no idea what that was, but I looked it up, and he is something that showed up in the Super Friends and the Super Twins. The Super Twins are a part of the Super Friends. Whatever, that's confusing. But it showed up in, I guess there was a cartoon.
Yeah, I was like, this got real confusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was the Super Friends cartoon, and Gleek was in it.
Okay. So, I mean, I kind of like that they had the little round table thing. Although it was weird. I was like, why is this table in the middle of the floor?
Yeah, because it's just a big empty warehouse.
It's a big empty
I'm
warehouse.
like, you're super fast, man. Just do some
Build some
remodeling.
walls.
Build some walls, dude.
Like, it was like, oh, here's, the grave for the Arrow. Let's sit at this table in the corner. It was weird.
Yeah.
But,
Which the gray for the Arrow is nice.
Yeah.
So are they going to keep that fire lit? Does Supergirl have to keep coming by?
I was just like, can't you just light a match? Like, it was just so stupid. Like, just light a match.
Heat ray vision.
Like, seriously.
All right. And then, Green Lantern was referenced very shortly at the end. They were showing, like, all the Earths and stuff, and there was a Green Lantern in there. You didn't see him. You just saw,
Why
like,
did
a
they
green
do that?
light.
Since apparently they're not going to give us a movie.
We are Green Lantern Corps. I think that's still happening.
I don't care about the Green Lantern Corps. I want the Green Lantern.
Well, that's technically a Green Lantern
Look,
movie.
unless I get Hal Jordan or that other guy or John, is it Stewart?
John Stewart, yeah.
Wait, are you
You
sure
got
his name is John
Kyle
Stewart?
Rayner.
I think it's John Stewart. Kyle Rayner, isn't he the worst one?
I don't know. Is that the one that went
He's
crazy?
my favorite one.
No, the first one went crazy. Hal Jordan went.
That's Hal Jordan.
He was Parallax,
Yes.
which is the reason why the first movie made no sense.
It made no sense.
Yeah.
Even I knew that.
Yep.
I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, Hal Jordan's supposed to be Parallax,
How
not
could he
fighting
be fighting
Parallax.
the Parallax?
Yeah. And then right,
Yeah.
and then he becomes Spectre.
What?
Yeah, he becomes Spectre.
No one
not
explained the
Green Arrow.
Spectre thing to me.
It's like
That's
it's
gonna
like
have
the
to be an
Watcher
outside
kind
a
of like the Spectre
3D
can
Rivals
see
episode.
a bunch of stuff.
But, the Watchers, Marvel?
Watcher's Marvel.
So who's the Monitor?
The Monitor is the person they made up for the Crisis on Infinite Earths series.
But they fought him before, didn't they?
No, I don't think so. Oh, in the TV shows?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's because they were setting up for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it. I guess we can rate this crossover.
All right.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to give them points for the effort that they put into this. I mean, they did a lot of work with cameos and shout out to DC in general. However, I did not enjoy watching this. So I'm going to give it a 3.
I did. And I might rewatch some of the older cameos, but not crossovers, but
yeah, I didn't enjoy it. But I think I didn't enjoy it because, one, I do not enjoy these TV shows, and I did not enjoy the comic.
Yeah. Now, I do watch, I think the only show I've been watching is Flash. And again, I said I watch it after season, so I wasn't caught up by then. But generally, that doesn't bother me on the crossover events. Yeah. I was disappointed because they've had so many crossovers that were so much better than this one. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give it a 5.
All right.
They got some extra points for their effort and the ambition of the whole thing. I mean, they compared it to the end game of TV because it was a big, ambitious thing. Nothing like this has been done on TV. Mm-hmm. So they deserve some credit for what they were able to accomplish with it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Derek?
I give it a 5.5.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And my reasoning is the same as you guys. To do something like this and for it to never been done, I give them effort for that. And I also give them effort on staying as close as possible to the actual story.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times will we have had movies, cartoons, TV shows where it's about an event and it's not about that comic book event at all? It's like just in title or just in a costume that people wore. So I thought them keeping as close as possible to the actual storyline, I thought that was actually good.
Yep.
All right. So with that being said, that's our rating for the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So we're going to go ahead and close out this episode. Thank you guys for watching and listening if you're listening to this on our regular podcast. And if you want to reach out to us, you can. We are on Gmail, so it's 3drivals@gmail.com. You can visit our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/3drivals, or tweet at us on the Twitters. It's 3_rivals at Twitter. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace out.
Peace out.